record. Recording. Go.
Carolyn, you want to run it?
Okay, sure. Yeah. Hello, everyone. This is the Kubernetes Service Catalog SIG meeting. Let me post a link to our agenda for anybody who's new this time around. I'm trying to see if we have new people. Yay, we do. Okay, cool. So the idea is that we'll walk through, if you put your name in here so that we know who all attended, that's super helpful. If you want to put something on the agenda, feel free to type in and just slap your name on it so we know who wants to bring up what. If you have a question or you want to make a comment, just do plus hand, and I'll help keep track and call on people because some people are chatty and it's hard to interrupt them. So first on the agenda is the working group updates. I think we only have one working group at this point, and hopefully we can dissolve it soon. So I'll just do the doc working group real quick. If you go to svccat.io, you can see the total ripoff of the Kubernetes website, but this is just not everything's like live, but it's a framework for us to start tagging the existing markdown files that we have and then having them sucked into this website and looking pretty. And that just gives us a spot to start building out more stuff. So if you click on, like, say, try our walkthrough, that's existing content that we already had that, you know, just throw a little bit of front matter on, and then it all looks nice and it looks way more official than telling people to read a markdown file in GitHub. So if you would like to be that special someone to give it that second looks good to me, the agenda has a link to the pull request there. But that's all I had to say about docs. I don't know if Jeremy or anybody else has anything. Okay. Cool. Next up, I thought we could, actually, I think this was Morgan, right? Recapping the action items from the face-to-face last week.
Yeah, I didn't want to actually do it. I just maybe if you wanted to walk through that the agenda document and either make sure we're all on the same page, or write a list in here of what we discovered, or we could not. I don't know. I just wanted to. It's the thing that we immediately had, and maybe we can give an update to the people who come to this call and could not make it. And I don't know how much of the call we recorded or got notes on. So.
We recorded none of it.
Okay.
So maybe it's a good idea to walk through it. Since you suggested it, would you please walk through it? That'd be so helpful.
All right. So last week we met in Microsoft, the building part, April 12th, and this was after 2 days of open service broker meetings. And we only had the 1 day there, and we took topics to discuss, and then we scroll. Then we made a schedule, and then during the meeting we filled in, or at least attempted to fill in, notes on what we were discussing. First thing that we discussed was, what do we want to have for a GA release? And part of that was figuring out two things, basically. What do we want in it, and then when do we want to say we're releasing it, as well as the sort of the time frame that we can say that, yes, these are the final GA items that we want to have. And I don't know if that was in here somewhere, but it's, oh yeah, there it is. We have about a month from now to go in and talk to our respective companies and say, yes, these are the features that we will committing to, I guess, and come back with new ones.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but just for this one, I know we put a whole bunch of stuff in this doc, but it may be helpful to maybe start updating milestones. Like, I think we have one out. Does that sound good? Okay, I can take that as an action item to just start finding the issues that go with these or making placeholder ones. And if people, as you're hashing on this, can comment on them, or if that seems
So in
reasonable.
GitHub?
Yeah, work in GitHub.
Okay.
I got 1 thumbs up, so I'm going to just run with it.
Yeah, no, that's what I was looking at, personal ones that I had sort of interest and committed to and was looking at them. So I agree.
Great.
After GA, we discussed the sort of migration to CRDs kind of issue, whether or not we wanted to have the sort of intermediate backend that we had with TPRs, where we still have the API server, but it gets turned into CRDs. And then is the ultimate goal to drop all of the API server, API machinery, and have only CRDs with controller being redone or munged over to use the CRDs instead of the backing API server. I don't know if we want to go to the issues of why we want to do that, but it's something that certain teams find desirable. So, any notes? Okay. We had lunch. It was delicious. I and Doug and Jonathan a little bit discussed the sort of the fact that as the platform, we're supposed to be the source of state, source of the true state, and yet the broker can really be the source of true state, and that keeping those things in sync through authentication and updates is difficult when sort of the RBAC comes into show, and that the layering of changes needs to be either they have to have a queue or something. And the big thing that came out of that, I think, was the fact that we're going to put a delete flag on the instance and the broker, the instance and the binding, so that instead of directly issuing to delete, you say, okay, go delete this in the background, and then we can undelete it if we're rejected. So everything can fail at every point in time, and that's really, we have to work around all of that. So I guess lunch is in there twice. Never mind. I've got lunch on the brain. Sorry. Then we had lunch, and we kept discussing this for a little bit after the fact to get the actual action items sort of a thing. And I mean, I guess since IBM is interested in this one, we'll probably take that one at some point. I don't know about the rollback command, if there's a specific person who wants to do that. And the locking flag, we already have a PR for basically, I think, and it probably just needs to be updated to some of the new recent changes. And that ends that topic pretty good. Paul and Red Hat, and I think it's Jay, has a nice health checker tool that seems to be, everybody seems to, once they finally understood it, be interested in bringing that open, and we're going to probably merge it into the into Tree, and I guess we do want a demo of the thing, but I don't know if Jay's ready to demo it today. Maybe next week. I don't know. We'll see. Any comments on that one?
Yeah, I hope to be ready for it. My machine's limping along, but hopefully we'll do a demo today. Thanks, Morgan.
Okay, cool, excellent. We'd like to see it, and as far as I can tell, many people think it's useful. So
awesome, great.
I asked internally, and I had a couple yes responses. So, okie dokie. Next, how are we going to get the automatic binding topic, and are we doing it with a separate resource? Another thing we sort of decided in the middle of this was in terms of moving the credentials that are created around inside of the very secret objects. We have transforms that we want to take advantage of, and JSON path looks pretty useful for doing that kind of transform. These particular automated binding things are not blockers for this. And then Carolyn discussed the default service plan. Did we not take notes on that?
The notes didn't end up in the doc. I'll circle back and add them.
Okay. But we discussed this for quite a while, and there's a big doc to go read, and it looked like it would be a very interesting user experience for first-time users, and possibly combined with some, depending on how V3 for OSB goes, it might be more achievable or more easier to do with sort of parameterized things, parameterized arguments. So we talked about this for a lot, but there's no notes in here. Carolyn, do you have anything you would like to add particularly?
I had it on the agenda actually, so I don't want to do this right now, but I was hoping we could just talk about next steps, either that I need to do, break stuff up, whatever. And I'll update this in like 5 minutes with the notes that I took while we chatted.
Super duper.
Yeah.
And then the last thing was basically talking about hopefully utilizing more of the test infra that is provided or available to us as a Kubernetes project. And I don't think anybody could really commit to it, but we're interested in having using the infrastructure. So
did we decide to just hold off, or was it like we'd like to do it, but we just don't have people who have time?
I think it seems like it's not a super high priority that anybody can staff it, but the overall gist of the room was it's probably a better idea. There were a couple of objections, but
well, we also had the building burning down at the same time, so that kind of ended the discussion.
Yes, that did, yeah. Then there was
update. Yeah, the end should be changed to building burnt down.
There you go. Building burned down from the 38th floor.
There we go.
And that's about as good of a walkthrough as I can do.
Thank you.
Hopefully somebody was taking notes. Nope.
We don't really have assigned note takers.
Yep, it's fine.
People add whatever they care about.
The notes are in the face-to-face talk, so
yeah.
We have the video now, though.
Cool.
Yeah,
so
video I wanted. Yep. Good.
I will take our road to GA, all the different things there, and either make net new issues if we need them, or link to existing ones. And then, like I said, if people could just add comments or labels or whatever it is that we've done before for milestones, if we could just hash it out there, that'd be cool.
Well, I think we haven't committed until the 14th, right?
Yeah, I just thought if there was, it's hard to track like what we're even trying to commit to if we don't have at least something to reference, and editing the doc can get a little awkward because you can't always tell who said what or anything. So if you're all okay with that, if we could at least just do comments or arguing about if something should be in or out or negotiating or whatever it is, however the sausage is made in GitHub, I think that just may be easier for people to follow along.
That sounds good.
Cool. Then I just had a question for you all because I'm very new and I don't quite know how the proposal stuff works. Like I got some feedback on the proposal and I can keep playing with it, but it's getting to be a big doc. And I was just wondering if you had suggestions for like what would be a good next step for us to do with that proposal. There's like I broke out some milestones. Maybe is it to figure out what's a non-controversial milestone and start playing with it and implementing things, or if there's some other process? And if no one says anything, I'll just start submitting PRs and see what happens.
Yeah, I would start with the reordering. I apologize, I was distracted. I would start with the reordering that was suggested at the end and do one small PR at a time.
Okay.
And take it slow.
Cool. I'll do that. Thanks.
Yeah.
Cool. Jay, are you ready for a health check demo?
Yeah, let's give it a shot. My machine seems to be struggling a bit, but let's see is that Morgan? Are you sharing? If someone wants to stop sharing their screen, I'll share mine, but I can't do it at this point. Is that Morgan at Sharon?
It should be. He's having issues apparently.
I think maybe. While we're waiting for that, I guess I can give a little background. Within Red Hat, we have multiple deployments, but they're our online deployments. We have a central Prometheus monitoring solution, which does monitoring, captures metrics, all that stuff, and we also generate alerts off the Prometheus alert framework. And for Service Catalog, we've got bare bones metrics that were introduced in I think November or December timeframe. And actually, I've been meaning to talk to everybody about that for some time. We don't have much in there for metrics. I'll give you a demo of what we do have, but it's just some basic counts right now. And I think it'd be great if we could add some additional metrics as we get moving through here. I don't know if it makes sense to do stuff like number of instances that are in an error state, same thing for bindings, etc. But in general, I need some help taking a look at metrics and exposing more metrics. Where I was headed with this was, at Red Hat. We monitor everything with Prometheus. The idea was that in addition to those metrics coming from Catalog, they were also going to do end-to-end checks continuously to try to be more proactive and capture problems as they're happening. So the idea is basically, much like our E2E test, which we run for the continuous delivery stuff, we'd have a end-to-end job that runs and, again, exposes metrics to Prometheus. So Prometheus sits out there and scrapes metrics from various components, and you can code it to do alerts, and whether those alerts go to a pager or to a dashboard or whatever, it's all pretty flexible and very generic if you're all just exposing it via Prometheus metrics. And Morgan, you're still sharing. Any chance we can stop sharing that and I'll share my screen? Okay, why don't we do a demo maybe next time when we can do a
Morgan, wait, hold on a sec. Morgan, are you able to even talk?
He's Doug in the agenda. He's typing. He says I can't even access the Zoom interface. I can't kill it. I can't restart it. I can't access Zoom.
That is bizarre.
I think I've been there.
Okay.
So that's fine. I don't mind doing another demo at some point. Like I said, my machine seems to be having problems. I keep getting restarts on the catalog and API server anyway, so that's not helpful. So Caroline, I guess why don't we go on to Kat?
Okay, I'll add you onto the agenda for next time because I really would like to see. I'd love to see this demoed.
Cool, thank you.
I got to be honest. I can't tell if people are seriously wanting to rename it to Kat or not.
Yes.
So I just wanted to make sure that if we rename it, we understand if that's a net positive or just something that's funny.
As cute as it is, I don't think it's really that descriptive, to be honest, but I don't know.
Get out of here, Doug.
I'm sorry. I mean, to be honest, I'm already bothered that we're exposing people to a different command line instead of coup control. At least service cat is a little bit meaningful.
Whatever we do, the name of the binary would be the same as the name of the plugin. So to be clear, if we change the name, oh gosh, no, not scat. if we change the name of the binary to KAT, that would, for UX perspective, I think that would have to necessitate also changing the name of the plugin. So it'd be kubectl plugin KAT. But I think I kind of agree with Doug that like it's really funny, and I would totally love to do it just from that perspective. But it distances itself from what the heck it actually is at the same time.
Yeah, and to be honest,
I don't know how other people feel.
I'm hoping at some point that the plugin infrastructure will fix itself and we'll stop having to give the plugin name, and then this won't be an issue, and people can just use kube control, get services, or create binding, whatever you want to call it, and not have to put the plugin name in there at all. So,
yeah, gosh, I hope so. I feel like I don't know. They're still hammering out SIG CLI what they want to do, but
yeah.
I owe them an experience report about how we've been making the plugin, because I think we're like the biggest plugin, honestly, for Kubernetes. So hopefully our opinions and thoughts may carry a bit more weight.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just in my heart rename it to KAT unless anyone else has an objection. I may alias it to that, but I just think from a UX perspective, we probably should stick with something that at least looks like service catalog. I don't know.
Let's say aliases are easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Let's keep it a little meaningful. People alias kube control to be KC or other things all the time. I think let's keep things a little bit usable.
Okay. Sorry, Scott. I don't mean to crush your hopes and dreams, but maybe we can get a logo. Wait, that was one of our things, wasn't it? I didn't see. Was that one of our action items from previous stuff? Was that having a logo? Or was that like an issue I just saw?
There was a PR out there today about it or something last couple days.
Is someone giving us a logo?
Now, someone wanted a logo in like the images or something.
Uh-huh. But we don't have
That's
one.
what I was reading.
Sorry. Do we have a lead on someone who's maybe capable of making one? Because otherwise I can try to hack one together. There may be a gopher in it, though, if you're not careful, because I love gophers. Well, I hear no objections, so I'm going to try it, and we'll see what happens, and you can make fun of it next week. Cool. That's all we got on the agenda, unless anyone has anything else they would like to bring up. Thanks, everyone.
Cool. Morgan, thanks for the recap. I thought it was helpful. I appreciate it.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.